Dude. It was
All
good. I want to see you do better.
No, it is good. That's why I made the stream, dude. It only happens if we're like vibing.
Man,
All right,
throw me a
anyways,
fucking Mike
we're here.
Gesicki fucking Spirit Halloween costume.
That was funny. All right, so we're here, week 14 committee. We only have 2 undefeateds left: Ohio State and Memphis. I mean, I think it's pretty easy who's number 1. Anybody
Yeah.
disagree on Ohio
No.
State?
No.
Okay. So Ohio State number 1. Now number 2, I mean, you got to go Washington for me.
I agree.
Because, dude, these guys just absolutely dominated Washington or Oregon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
last 2 game 87-23. Yeah.
decent resume too.
I mean, they got like the most top 25 wins. Anyone.
I mean, yeah, and over Baylor, who seems to be like one of the best teams right now.
Yeah.
Big win over Baylor too.
Yeah. So, okay, so
After
number
loss to
3.
Boise.
Number 3, we have a few one-loss teams to think about. So we got Stanford. We have, who's the other ones? We have Kansas State. Let's take a look at their resume now. So no top 25 wins. Their best win was Arkansas on the road on game day. Colorado's a decent win. Kind of got shafted there. So they're an option. We got no one-loss teams here. We have Memphis, who's an option, but
What's their
Okay.
resume? Just want to know. What teams are they
so
actually
the
beating?
problem with them, okay, Mizzou is a great win now, even though it was a Hail Mary. You got to remember that.
Right.
Kansas isn't good at all. Then their marquee, air quotes, marquee matchup, double OT or single OT, whatever, with SMU, they've lost like 4 in a row, so they're not really a big win anymore. Like the same
Right.
as Texas State.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, with that I wouldn't consider them 2, but I just wanted to see if they had.
And then we
something going on.
also have Notre Dame, who got destroyed by Syracuse, pulled it out in the snow. I don't think we can rank them all the way up here. So personally, I think it's either Stanford or Kansas State.
I think it's definitely Stanford.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
only
Kansas
loss
State
is
has
ASU.
no win.
Yeah. Beat Oregon. They I mean, they win their games. Like, you see this 3-point win to Oregon State.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone agree with Stanford at 3?
Yeah, I agree with Stanford at 3, and I think probably Kansas State at 4.
Now, do we consider Baylor at all at these spots with the head-to-head?
See Baylor's.
So the
They've got-
problem with Baylor is they got destroyed by Washington, but the SMU loss is just not looking that great. I don't think you can rank them over
Yeah.
like a Memphis right now, because Memphis did beat SMU.
True.
Yeah,
It was an
agree.
early season close game though, which they were
Absolutely.
winning at the last second.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 straight wins. The wins just keep getting better and better. Now, honestly, he only has, in this run, he's only beaten 3 bowl eligible teams. But they've pretty much all been blowouts, besides the ISU game
Yeah.
and TTU. Okay, so we're at 4. So who are we considering here? Is it Memphis and Notre Dame, or are we? Or
It's gotta
how
be
about
Memphis
or
or
what
Kansas
about-
State, I think.
Oh yeah, Kansas State. Okay. Yeah. So also Clemson's clinched the ACC championship. I think we go Kansas State here personally, but
Yeah, I think so.
what do
too.
you guys
Right.
think?
I think.
All right, and then Memphis at 5.
Yeah.
All right, and I think we all agree once again. There's like a kind of a not a steep drop off, but a big difference between 5 and the rest.
Yeah.
So 2 lost teams. So I think Clemson is a top 2 lost team. Not considering anyone from there. Baylor, I think, is now in the upper echelon. I mean, they have probably the best win in the country over number 2. I think Maryland is a really good team.
I like Maryland a lot.
I like Maryland. Dude, Penny Boone returning a kick on Jay Jettas. You can't ask for anything better.
Wins over FSU. Ooh, yeah, their wins are good too, and their only losses against Ohio State in a close one.
And West Virginia, though. That's what keeps bringing them down. 4 and 7.
Yeah.
Oh, West Virginia. I mean, yeah, but I mean, is that a rough loss? Yes, but it's like also, I don't think it's so bad to where you would really like, especially with a win over Michigan and FSU and a close loss to Ohio State. Like, I think the rest of their resume looks pretty stout, to be honest.
Yeah. Now, is a bad 10-point loss with a slightly better wins better than Baylor, who has like no amazing wins besides Kansas State? I mean, they have the better win, but they also, is SMU a worse loss? I don't think so.
I think better wins outweigh worse losses.
I mean, so Kansas State is the better win, but
yeah,
it's also like their only good win.
See, that's what I think. It's like Maryland feels more consistent to me. They feel
Baylor.
more consistently like in games and like competing at the higher level than Baylor does right now.
Okay, so we think Maryland over Baylor.
Can you show me Clemson again?
Yeah, I'm gonna just scroll through, make sure we're not missing 2 lost teams. So there's Georgia. We'll just quickly. So Georgia, no top 25 wins here.
Yeah, but I mean I feel
South
like that's because a lot of the SEC is not ranked because they're all 4 loss or more teams.
Now, South Carolina and Bama are both good teams. They just have 4 losses.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the deal breaker right now with the SEC is that they've all just torn each other apart. I mean, literally the only team that's not a 4-loss team in the SEC is Georgia.
Georgia. Okay, so Clemson here. Texas A&M victory, that's all right. Bad loss to UNC here. 20 points. Another bad loss, 25 points. This is like, okay, this is kind of like real life Clemson where they're a decent team, but if DJ doesn't show up, they shit the bed. So, but they do have the division clinched and 3 big victories, and they have 6 straight wins against all quality teams.
Yeah.
Like 9 wins, 8 wins, 7 wins, 6 wins, and then South Carolina. We'll see. I think, okay, so this is where it's like nitpicking.
I actually probably like Clemson here, honestly.
I think I like Clemson and then Maryland and then Baylor.
Clemson, Maryland, Baylor,
and then Georgia.
Rick,
I think
Rick, how do you think?
I am pretty similar. I think only other team I can think of. Does Michigan have 2 losses?
Yes, so Michigan does. I think we often forget about them because they had 2 straight losses. So they do have the head-to-head loss to Maryland.
Okay, so they got to be below Maryland because we're talking about them at the same time.
And the thing that we've been saying about them is like their best win is UNLV.
Yeah.
I mean, Penn State is a good win, but they're down to their 3rd quarterback, so they're playing below what their record should be. I don't really like Michigan all that much. I think they're like double-digit team at best right now.
Yeah. They just ride us to the top 10, I think.
So everyone good with Clemson here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Clemson at 6. All right, so number 7, Maryland over Baylor. Everyone agree?
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's look at Miami and NC State. Can we look at both their?
Yes. So Miami just dominated UVA. They did beat Georgia Tech. Won in triple OT against. Now the loss to FAU is looking a lot better because FAU now has wins over ranked Florida, ranked Miami, and ranked USF.
Yeah, I see. The thing that I like about Miami is their only losses are to ranked teams, and they still do have wins over 2 top 25 teams. So it's like,
Yeah.
I think you go Maryland, then Miami, then Baylor, then Georgia. That's how I would.
So
do it.
let's take a look at NC State as well, because they have the head-to-head over Miami.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's
Ooh,
like
wait a minute.
Yeah, well,
I think NC
Wow,
State
look at
has to be
those three
ahead
straight road
of
games,
Miami.
yeah, I mean, it's comparable. You got to put NC State, especially when they won by 18. And
Ooh.
so
I
NC
really
State went on a ridiculous run here. Now ODU probably isn't
That
getting
is
ranked,
ridiculous.
so that's like a ghost ranking. But the loss, they got shit on by Clemson. This loss to Boston College is not good, but they've come back firing.
Yeah, but
against the
consider
bad
the fact
teams.
that they played 5 top 25 teams in a row. I mean, I don't necessarily blame them for losing a close
And they
one at
only
Boston
won
College.
once. Yeah.
They only lost once, yeah.
So, okay, so you have to put NC State over Miami.
Yeah.
We have Maryland at 7. Now, Baylor, I don't think Baylor jumps these two teams just because they have a better win, but they don't have
As consistent of wins.
more. Yeah.
Yeah. I think NC State and Miami are just they have so many.
and
The SEC just has a lot of really impressive teams.
yeah, so I kind of think that we go NC State, Miami, Georgia, Baylor. Or is it Baylor, Georgia? I think Baylor, Georgia.
I think you're disrespecting Baylor too much if you put them behind Georgia
Baylor,
after the big
Georgia.
one.
Okay, so we're gonna go. So I have 8 is NC State, 9 is Miami, 10 is Baylor, and 11 is Georgia.
What does it look like right now, 1 through 11?
Okay, so 1 Ohio State, 2 Washington, 3 Stanford, 4 Kansas State, 5 Memphis, 6 Clemson, 7 Maryland, 8 NC State, 9 Miami, 10 Baylor, 11 Georgia.
Okay. I think that's a good.
So we
That's
have
good.
these. So let's check for 2 lost teams just to make sure we don't leave anybody out.
You got Michigan as well. We were still talking about.
Yeah,
Michigan.
so we have
Yeah.
Michigan to still rank. Maryland we already did.
Which I don't hate. A 12.
We
spot
might
for
want to
them,
start
be
We still have Notre
considering
Dame.
Tulane.
Oh yeah, we haven't even done Notre Dame. Notre Dame's 10-1.
Yeah. Okay, so we might have to make a slot change here.
I don't know. I think
checking.
I might want to put Notre Dame below Tulane this week. They were not very good this week at all.
Okay, so kind of in this range, we now have Notre Dame, Tulane, and Michigan. So Notre Dame, I mean, they were down pretty much this entire game. Literally, their best win outside Tennessee is a 5-win team that they beat by 5 points at home, and then they beat Pitt by 3 on the road. They're just okay. I'm like 90. Oh, I left. Whoops. I'm like 90% sure that their game against Stanford is basically a playing game.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
I mean, I'm fine putting them here because
Yeah,
I
am
think
too.
I would pick Clemson, Maryland, NC State, Miami, Baylor, and Georgia to beat them at this
Yeah.
point.
I agree. I think.
I agree.
I think this is a good spot for him.
Yeah, number 12. And I mean, they have the opportunity of a lifetime to beat Stanford, especially on the road. Like, they'll easily make the top 8.
Yeah, that'll be a big game.
Yeah, so that's going to be a playoff game. Okay, so now let's check. Tulane did not impress me this week. They barely beat
No.
ULM. It was on the road. Now, they do have a tough test here, though, against Louisiana. I don't think you can really get mad at Tulane for winning this close. I mean, they only have one other close game all season. The rest are
I
just blowouts.
I think Tulane's got to be in front of Michigan. I mean, they have more quality wins than like Memphis does.
So, let's see. Yeah, I mean, so quality wins here, UNLV and Penn State. Like, those are the only... Okay, so...
Yeah, and Tulane's winning on the road as well.
So let's see Tulane. Quality wins, anything bowl eligible. Ball State, Texas State, SMU, LA Tech. So same kind of ballpark. Yeah, I can see Tulane here.
I like Tulane here.
Anyone disagree?
I personally think Michigan should probably be above Tulane and then Tulane, but I'm not gonna be too hard on it. That's just my opinion. But if y'all are feeling more Tulane here, only reason is I just think Big Ten is like, I don't know. It's just the quality of players is better. Again, they're out of state, they're out of conference. Is win at Utah, which I know Utah isn't like particularly impressive this year, but they are having those like big Power 5 out of conference games.
Right.
Versus
So,
like you got
Oregon
basically you got a
State
team of
shit.
like Power 5. You got a schedule of Power 5 versus you got a schedule of Group of 5, right? So it's like
Right. So, but like, okay, there's wins though. Like Purdue, sure, they're a Power 5 team, but only beating them by 4 at home.
Yeah.
And then you only beat Indiana by 14 when Ohio State just put up like 50 on them.
I mean,
Quality. I think. Okay, so vote. Ron says Tulane. I say
Tulane.
Nick says
I said
Michigan.
Michigan.
Rick and Flame.
I say Tulane.
Tulane.
Okay. Interesting.
All right, so Tulane at 13. I mean, it's not gonna matter. It's gonna come down to the championship for
no.
those teams.
That's why I don't care too much about it.
Yeah. Okay, so before we move on, because this is going to be another steep drop-off, kind of. So, any more two-loss teams? You have Miami, Ohio. I don't really see them get ranked way higher. Arizona State's coming up. Arizona coming up. Cal is going to drop. I don't think you can rank anybody else in the SEC.
At least not right now.
Sunbelt, we might rank FAU, but that's way later. We're gonna want to talk about Syracuse and Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
American, I don't think you rank, maybe in the 20s.
Yeah.
Big Ten, don't think you rank Colorado, at least here.
Man, yeah, it really does just drop right off, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, and this is the second steep drop off. So we have a drop off from 5 to 6 and a drop off from 14 to 15. So, okay, so I think here is really a battle between
teams.
Yeah, so battle between Arizona State, Arizona, California, and then the ACC teams. So I think we've been ranking the ACC teams a little higher normally. So this is Syracuse. They did beat Georgia Tech, so I think you need to rank them ahead of them at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Syracuse did lose to lost to Miami, Ohio, and FSU and Clemson, but they did beat Notre Dame. And then Georgia Tech, they did beat Tulane. They lost, but they have that big win over Clemson. Another loss, so here to Miami, and that was game day. And then the Pac-12, Arizona State clinches the division. Lost to Toledo.
They do have the win over
lost to
Stanford.
Fresno. Oh my God.
They
Those
do
are
have the win over
bad
Stanford.
losses.
They have the win at Stanford, though.
That's a really
so
good win.
a win at Stanford, but you lose all your non-conference
Yeah.
games pretty much, dude.
One to Toledo.
Okay, the overtime one to Toledo, that makes sense. That's a good team. Fresno State by 21 on
Yeah.
at
Fresno
home.
State is
Just not a good
8-3, though. I mean,
LSU,
I don't
So-
honestly hate this as much as I mean, in comparison to what others are, hitting. Now, this doesn't look nearly as bad, actually.
yeah, so they have the win over Cal, so you got to rank them ahead of Cal. They did lose USF, who's not going to be ranked most likely. Washington, they're a great team, and Stanford. So, and they're facing ASU. And then you have Cal. How far do they drop? I think you got to rank them. They lost to Arizona, so you got to rank them behind Arizona at this point.
I think Cal's
other-
behind all those teams.
No other insane wins. I mean, they lost to Washington as well. Win to Oregon looks like their best win. Also San Diego State.
I think they're the worst. 3 loss.
So for me, yeah. So okay, I think for me, you got to rank the ACC teams above all of these Pac-12 teams. I think Syracuse
Ooh, really?
and Georgia Tech are better.
I think Syracuse, yes. I think Syracuse is probably the next logical step. Sure.
Yeah, Syracuse is probably the top one.
Yeah.
But just because of the head-to-head over Georgia Tech. So,
And
all
a
right.
big win at Notre Dame.
All right, so do you guys agree Syracuse at 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Syracuse. All right, and now you got. So now I think it's between Georgia Tech and then who do we think's the best team here? Is it Arizona State or is it Arizona? I would go Arizona.
That's what I was going to say. I think the bad losses for Arizona State outweigh the big win.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I would
Arizona
say
State's
Arizona.
only hope is obviously to win out and get the bid. I mean, they have to have 2 impressive victories in a row, but they've gotten this far. They don't lose in the Pac-12. But yeah, I think everyone agree Arizona here.
Yeah, Arizona.
Yeah.
Arizona at 16. Now, I think Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think Georgia Tech, then Arizona State.
That's what I'll go with that.
Okay, so Georgia Tech at 17. And then Arizona State at 18. And then I think the only logical next one is Cal at 19.
I still want to look at Miami, Ohio.
Ooh, interesting. So, yeah, so let's look at Cal one more time. Lost to Arizona, lost to Washington, and the loss to Iowa on the road.
To be honest, I think the reason that people were very high, like we were all very high on Cal in the beginning, is because their first win was against SDSU. And their
Right.
second win
Yeah.
was against national champion Utah. So I think all of us were like, oh shit, Cal's here to be, and I think they've been kind of ranked super high all year. But I don't think they've just looked
Like
as impressive,
Heisman
and those teams
contender
haven't-
quarterback, yeah. Okay. This is Miami, Ohio, so huge win against Syracuse. Now they have sustained success, so they went like 13-1 last year. Missed the playoff. But they beat Syracuse, bad loss to North Texas, bad loss to Toledo. I don't know if you rank them above Cal.
I don't think you rank them above Cal either, but I think they're definitely in discussion.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Cal, we have
I don't, like, what are Auburn?
Miami,
Can you look at Auburn real quick? I
Yeah,
think
Auburn's like
Auburn's-
the only team I can see being ranked from there.
I mean, Alabama also just blanked Florida.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
So Auburn lost some bad ones. Georgia was in overtime. That was against the backup. They did just beat South Carolina, though.
I don't really
think-
see it.
I
It's not
don't
really.
I don't think they're at play here, but they might be at play to be ranked.
I think they'll be
Um,
ranked.
South Carolina,
that
I
would
don't
be
think we can
sneaky.
rank. I mean, South Carolina's lost 4 of their last
Yeah.
5. I don't think you can rank them anymore.
Yeah, it's rough.
And then Alabama just blanked Florida, but a loss to Mississippi State's pretty shit. Okay, let's keep looking. I mean, do you consider FAU or USF?
Well, yeah, I think you consider USF. What is USF got going on?
So, okay, this is FAU. They beat Florida. Beat Southern Miss, which turned out to be an okay win. Beat Miami. Coastal, they beat. That's a good team. Got destroyed by Troy.
Good lord.
3 straight good wins. They're a weird team. This is
The
USF.
head-to-head over USF, I think, is just
See, here's the thing, right? Is like
enough.
you're gonna kind of drop one. I like before that FAU game, their only loss was an overtime game against Troy, who beat the absolute shit out of FAU. I honestly think USF is more impressive, personally.
Even
I
the
don't
21-point loss, though?
I do.
Yeah.
So,
I do,
okay,
actually.
so if you look at wins, though, Arizona, right? That's a pretty impressive win.
Right.
But FAU has one more loss, but they have a win over Florida. and number 12 Miami. Or
I
no,
mean,
we ranked them.
look at how many of
9.
these games are like one possession games for their wins.
Yeah.
I mean, they are beating the shit out of everyone they play.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I don't know if we rank them at 19 though. So, but that's
I'm
something
I'm
to
not
keep
saying
in mind.
19, but I actually think they're better than FAU. I think they should be ranked higher than FAU despite the head-to-head.
Do you rank Florida State at all? I mean,
It looks like every time
against
they've hit.
they had like a 6 or
Oh.
5 week stretch, but they lost to all of them except Syracuse.
It looks like every single good team that they hit, they just kind of fall apart though.
Yeah.
Besides
Yeah, the
Syracuse, it
Miami
just
was
looks like-
triple overtime to be fair, but yeah, multiple score games and everything else. So I don't know if you can rank them at this point.
Mm-mm.
But I
Nobody
do think
else.
that they're the highest score loss because they're losing the teams ranked ahead of them. So I don't really feel
Fair.
bad about ranking them at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And Arkansas, who's already clinched the division, might. I mean, same thing though, kind of as South Carolina. Lost 3 of their last 4.
Close game to Kansas.
Yeah.
I feel like all their games have been close. Damn, all of it. Literally all their games have been
They have clinched that division though.
close. What about Colorado?
Colorado has 3 losses. They just got beat by ISU.
Yeah,
They
but I mean,
lost to
I-
Kansas State, lost to Arkansas, so like all the only quality wins except
was-
Missouri.
Yeah, they
What was
beat
Colorado
Missouri.
ranked last week?
16.
Okay. I think you definitely still rank Colorado.
Yeah, I just don't know 19 is the spot. See,
Yeah.
this is a hard spot. So like Illinois, they just lost as well to Purdue.
To Purdue.
They
Bad.
were winning
Over
20-7 and they
At
fucking
home as
blew
well.
up. Yeah.
I don't think you can rank them,
no.
at least from what I'm just seeing.
I mean, we had them at 23, so yeah. I mean, they beat Michigan. They beat Michigan State. Yeah,
I
no.
don't even think you consider them to be ranked, to be honest.
The best team I
Okay.
see here is Miami, Ohio, honestly.
Yeah, I'm still in the Miami, Ohio, or the Cal bus.
Wait, I thought
I'm
we
thinking-
already ranked
I'm-
Cal.
Yeah, I thought we already ranked Cal in my. Yeah, did we not already rank Cal?
No, we're at 19, so we have Cal and Miami, Ohio, who are
I
probably
think
the next
Cal
choices.
and then Miami, Ohio.
That's what I see. Cal and then
Okay.
Miami.
All right, so California, and then Miami, Ohio at 20. All right, so now we're in no man's land again, where we can go any way. So I send a message. Now I do think though that at least after next week, we're gonna want to rank division winners because we'll have that to like as part of their resume. I think that's kind of an important thing as well.
Yeah.
So like a team like Arkansas, who we may not rank this week, we probably will be ranking next week if they win, obviously.
Yeah. I
Um,
think right here, I think there are probably 4 teams seriously consider that I know for sure. I think you have Arkansas, I think you have Auburn, I think you have USF, and I think you have FAU. I think those are the 4 teams that we've really kind of talked about a lot.
And then the
yes.
only teams I can think of that I really want to maybe think about adding is I think Troy beat 2 of those teams and they only have 3 losses. And then I think Fresno State also. I don't want to talk too
Fresno
much about
State.
that because I lost to them, but I
Okay.
know they have a win
Yeah,
over me, but I don't know the rest of their
So-
schedule.
Troy
All right, so let's
does
look at
have
it. So
wins.
Troy, yeah, but lost. Okay, OT lost. They have 2 overtime losses to 6 win or better teams. They got destroyed by
OT.
UAB. I just, it's
Like, the wins are
like.
good, but the losses are bad.
All right, so here's the thing about the G5, though. Like, even though they have the head-to-head, like, why are you ranking? I mean, I guess FAU is a 3-loss team as well, but they have special wins here over like high-quality opponents. I
Look
don't
at
know
Florida
about
Atlantic
ranking.
again. Sorry,
Yeah.
can I see Florida Atlantic again?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, them winning against Miami.
Yeah, the Miami
Florida.
win, who's number 9 in our rankings right now. It's a tough spot. Yeah, so I think if we rank anyway, we have 5 spots. Okay, I think Florida State is considered. Do we consider any of these 5?
Oh my god. Hey.
Dude, Okay, let me lay out this scenario for you. So Temple is, as long as they win, is gonna win this this division, whatever, right? But I can still win this division if I
Oh, did all the stuff happen
if I
today?
win and ODU loses and Western Kentucky loses. So I still have a chance.
Who's
I've
Old
never
Dominion have?
seen one, but a chance is a chance.
Yep.
Who's Old
I
Dominion
don't.
have next?
So Old Dominion is a sneaky team. They have a
Ooh, Appy
loss to.
State. No, I was
They
just saying, who
lost
does
to
Old
me,
Dominion have?
and they. Okay, so look at this. They have all quality losses. Only a touchdown NC State to me by 19, and then 30 to Washington.
Oh, I don't know how you rank any of the
Yeah.
American teams though, because they
I
all
don't
seem
know how
to.
you
You
rank
all
any
seem
of
to have a
them.
Yeah,
loss
I don't
to
think-
another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you rank
I
any
think
of
you
them.
got to go
Okay.
with the two Sunbelt teams right now.
Yeah, I think the Sun Belt definitely. So I think, okay, Colorado is definitely at play here. You got Arkansas, Colorado, Florida State. I don't think we rank anybody here. Conference USA, I think we're done.
Louisiana Tech maybe, because Conference USA is a lot. At least in my rankings, they're considerably better than the other G5s this year.
Yeah, but okay, how good is Texas State? Because I keep seeing them like with the big wins. I mean,
Jeez, they just have a
blanked by
tough
FSU.
schedule.
Blanked,
Yeah.
lost to Georgia Tech.
But
Lost
they just
to
didn't win
Tulane,
any quality games.
lost
Like, all
to
their games
Memphis.
were against.
Yeah, I
all-
mean,
all
I
their
don't think
wins
you
were
can rank a
against, like, I mean,
4-loss Group of 5 team.
Yeah. I
well,
don't think
yeah,
so
no, for
either.
sure. I was just seeing the quality of this LA Tech win.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
mean, or this loss. I don't know, dude.
They're definitely not now, at least.
No.
No, I think. Sorry, TC. I think you have to rank Louisiana Tech above any of the American resumes I've seen.
Well, yeah, no, for sure, American. But I don't think Sunbelt. Nobody
Yeah,
in the
so-
MAC shit.
Yeah, I think
Fresno State. Meh.
whenever
ASU win. They barely lost to Ole Miss.
UTEP.
Lost to UTEP, yeah, and
I mean, yeah, they have
SDSU.
good wins.
It's just
Yeah,
this
this
is
is so
a shit
gross.
show over here.
Yeah.
What about wait? Have
Okay.
we haven't ranked Arizona State.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
They
did
are
Yeah, you did.
18.
Oh fuck yeah, we did. Shit.
Okay. Okay, so I think here you go either Auburn, Colorado, Arkansas, or Florida State.
We still have a whole Sun Belt to figure out as well, by the way.
Well, yeah, and the Sun Belt. So we have 5 spots and really 6 teams we're considering.
I think if you're going to rank a 4-loss
we
team
have
right now, it needs to
7.
be Florida State, in my
We have
eyes.
7 teams we're considering, by the way.
7
Because
teams?
the teams that we're considering are 3 from the Sun Belt, because you have
Oh, Troy.
Troy as well. I think you have to consider Troy with wins over both the other 2 Sun Belt teams being considered.
So Troy, FAU, what's their name? USF, and then you got FSU, Colorado,
Arkansas and Auburn.
and Auburn.
Yep.
Okay, so those are the teams we're
What
considering.
was the Florida team that USF played? Did they play a non-conference Florida team?
So
No,
they
they have.
beat Indiana, FIU. Yeah, no, they haven't faced any other. So they're not, but they did beat an SEC team. So they have 3 Power 5 victories.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
God,
I
this
honestly
is
think
rough.
that. I don't know. I think USF goes here. The only reason I think so is because they're the only 2-loss team left in the entire country,
Right.
and their losses are not bad losses. They're pretty actually quality, especially an overtime loss against Troy. They have the win against a ranked Arizona team who is, I think, in our top 16, 17, right? I think USF right here, just because of only 2 slip-ups and a decent win.
I can agree
if-
with them here just because of their dominance. Like, yeah, they lost FAU, but like they've been
but all of their
blanking
other
everyone.
games. have
I would
just
be
been,
fully
like-
on board if the head-to-head was close. But because the head-to-head is 21 points,
Well, but FAU, like if you go and look at FAU, right? So like it's kind of the same argument with it because at the same time, FAU, what they got didn't they get like just blown out by Troy? Yeah, look at the Troy loss.
Yeah.
That's another Southern Conference. So we're gonna
The
say like
Troy loss is
head-to-head.
bad, but then again, their last 3 games, they were outscoring them like 118 to 28.
Right, I understand.
And they
I'm
got the win
saying
over
like
Miami and Florida as well.
I'm
That's
saying
2 Power
like
5 teams.
if we're talking about head-to-head in the Sun Belt and we're trying to rank Troy, Florida Atlantic, and USF, I don't think you can be like, oh well, the head-to-head puts Florida Atlantic above, right here. But then like later on, whenever you look at a 52-3 loss to Troy, I don't think you can be like, okay, well Troy has to go a couple spots
Right.
below, right?
This
This
is
is
such a
like-
weird. This is such a
Yeah.
weird scenario.
So
I
it's
think the
like,
Troy
I
loss
would
is
say
a worse
maybe
loss.
Troy has to be. I think Troy might be the first Sun Belt team we have to rank. At least in my
If
opinion.
we're going by head-to-head, Troy should be the first team technically.
okay,
Well,
so
but if
it's
we're
like
going
at least for the
they don't
Sun
have any
Belt.
quality wins though. That's the only problem is that Troy
all
doesn't have
3
any like.
teams.
I
all
agree,
these teams
but
have
I mean,
merit.
mhm.
So
and I
don't
think
think
that the fact that we're talking about them in the same kind of conversation means that we should probably default to head if we have it.
Well, honestly, I know Troy has head-to-head, but personally, I wouldn't rank them over either of these 2 teams.
See, that's my
Like,
problem.
okay,
is because the
yeah.
other teams,
I normally
Because,
want to
okay, they have
better win.
close wins, so they beat USF in OT, which is not that close. Like, that's a super close game. I think, like, for instance, I think a win over Arizona for USF is enough to overcome that OT loss, or that OT loss. And then also, they have 2, or all 3 of their losses are to G5 teams. So
they besides Western Kentucky, they don't have another bowl team win other than the 2 that we have.
and their
had, right?
only Power 5 win is Mississippi State, which, if you look at Power 5 wins for USF, they have 3, and if you look at Florida Atlantic, they have 1, 2. So they have 2, but they're both really good wins.
Yeah,
I mean, Florida's
think-
not necessarily all that great, but it was at the time.
I think right here because I think that USF has the better win. They have a close loss in their head-to-head. I think that you have to put USF here. I think you put Troy next because you're talking about 2 8-3. The only reason is you're talking about 2 8-3 Sunbelt teams, and I would say if the loss was closer, then you would put for sure. Put fucking what's their face FAU on top.
So are we?
What is
Are we
What's
ranking
up?
3 Sunbelt teams here? That's the
I
thing.
think.
I'm thinking
I'm talking
we
about the
go-
order of the 3. I'm more or less. I'm
Who
not
is
saying that we have
USF's
to rank
best
all
win?
3, but I'm saying that I think of the 3, I think you have to rank FAU third of these 3, even
I
with the win
agree.
over Miami.
I agree. USF is first, but I think FAU would be second.
Even with a 52-3 loss against the team.
So
that
yeah,
you're
so
debating
okay,
putting
of
them
course the head-to-head is wildly, like, it's a massive difference, but also I think as a G5, as part of your national rank for like what the committee cares about, is they care about your performance against quality teams, and I think like a win, was it on the road? Florida Atlantic, no, it was at home. They went to the Swamp and won opening week, and then you at home you beat Miami. I think a committee would care about that more.
I think Miami is a better win than Arizona in my eyes. Plus the head-to-head. That's why I think
Yeah.
FAU is first.
Okay. See, it's so weird. USF
Yeah.
has the losses, Troy has the head-to-heads, but Florida Atlantic has like the monster dubs.
Yeah.
Oh my
and
god.
if it comes down to for when it's bowl games, if like one of these teams is top G5, we can have this conversation again. But
Yeah.
I'm right now. It's not like a super strong thing. I would just say that if we put USF here, I think we'd put Colorado next.
So if it matters, Florida Atlantic basically has the division. as long as they don't lose this week. So Fleur
Yeah.
Lake has the division, and then over here, I mean, Troy isn't even gonna win the division because they don't
No,
have
I
the
agree.
head-to-head. They don't have the head-to-head to UAB. They don't have the head-to-head to South Alabama. So like Troy can't even win the Sun Belt.
No,
You know
like
what I mean?
Yeah.
No chance.
I will say I think the FAU and Troy is much bigger of a toss up than USF because again, remember,
I agree.
win-loss is better, and USF has been murdering their opponents. I mean, just like there's been not very many close games.
All right, we all
And the fact
think USF
that their
here.
loss to Troy was an OP. Yeah.
I agree with USF.
I'm okay with it. I would think
Okay.
FAU, but okay with it.
So USF at 21. Now 22. Do we go right back to the Sun Belt and rank FAU or Troy?
Can we look at Colorado's again?
Colorado. Yeah.
Can we rank them?
No, we
No,
have
we
not
haven't
ranked
ranked
Colorado yet. They are not in the
Big 12.
Pac-12 in this universe. I wish they were in the Big 12. All right, so lost a tough one to Arkansas, so I feel like you have to rank Arkansas ahead of them, low-key. Kansas State, that's whatever. Lost to Iowa State, which is a lot better team than 6-5, would say.
True.
Arkansas, on the other hand, they lost to ISU, so same there. They both lost to Kansas State. It was a better loss for Arkansas. Lost to South Carolina.
Oh, but they also lost to Ole Miss.
But a big win at all. Okay, so here's the thing: they have the head-to-head against Colorado. Colorado's only quality win is Missouri, and then they at least also beat Auburn. So like, I feel like the head-to-head, Arkansas has beaten both Colorado and Auburn. So I feel like you have to kind of rank them ahead. I know it's the same thing as like Troy. But
Yeah, that's what I was
And
gonna say.
ultimately,
Kind of the same.
it's not gonna be too important either. So it's not as important.
Well,
I mean, I
also-
think that they're in the conversation with Colorado, so I don't see why head-to-head shouldn't matter.
Well, also Arkansas's locked up their division as well, so that's like
I think it goes from here. I think it goes Arkansas, FAU, Colorado.
Arkansas. I agree with Arkansas here, and I also agree with FAU. Is
I'd be
anybody
fully okay with those three
opposed?
teams.
I agree with Arkansas for sure.
Okay, Arkansas, and then
And then-
next is FAU or Colorado.
Yep. And I think
I
mean,
if
FAU
you're-
and
I'm thinking Colorado.
So let's look at this. So 3-8, 3-8, 4-7, 3-8, 3-8, 5-5, 7-5, best win, 4-7, and then all the other teams are losses to quality opponents. And then you go to the Sun Belt. So, like, for instance here, I think a win over Miami and Florida is a little better.
Yeah.
They do have a loss to Tulsa, which is kind of shit. The big loss to Troy, USA. I
think
personally
the
go
win over
FAU.
Miami. Yeah, I think the win over Miami alone. I think it's just like I mean, at this point, it's a top 10 win, right?
Yes,
So it's
because
like-
Miami is 9.
Yeah. I like.
Anyone-
Yeah, I like FAU.
I'm good with it.
Okay, so FAU 23, and then okay, so right now USF's ranked, FAU's ranked, Arkansas's ranked. So we have Auburn, Colorado, Florida State, and Troy. We go Colorado 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colorado.
Yeah, and I think we have to put. I'm thinking Troy at 25 though.
Troy at 25. My God, 3 Sun Belt teams.
I was thinking Florida State
Ah.
at 25.
I was thinking Florida State or Auburn, to be honest.
All right, let's look at all the resumes here. Florida State here, 7-4. Some big wins, lost by 13, by 7,
But those
both at home.
bad.
1 on the road, triple OT, lost by 14. Did beat BC though. Okay, and then let's go to Auburn, 7-4. Ole Miss, App State. Kentucky at Texas isn't that great of a win. Beat SDSU. Lost on a Hail Mary to Tennessee.
I'm thinking Florida State at 25.
Yeah.
I think Florida State might be a little better.
Yeah.
And then let's look at Troy one last time. I don't think you can rank Troy at this point. I mean, they should be winning these overtime games
Like,
against
yeah, and
lesser
the other teams
competition.
had Power 5 wins that we could like rank them off of. Like they don't have that.
Yeah,
other
the
than Mississippi
best
State, but
the best Power 5 team is Mississippi State. It's the only one.
Yeah, I think it's FSU for sure here, actually.
All right, anybody disagree on FSU?
I do, but I'm fine with ranking because those losses are to teams that are all ahead of them. So
I'll make sure to
I'm fine
put
with
Troy
ranking.
at. I'll make sure to put Troy at 26. Okay.
yeah,
So final rankings. Shout if you have a disagreement. 1 Ohio State, 2 Washington, 3 Stanford, 4 Kansas State, 5 Memphis, 6 Clemson, 7 Maryland, 8 NC State, 9 Miami, 10 Baylor, 11 Georgia, 12 Notre Dame, 13 Tulane, 14 Michigan, 15 Syracuse, 16 Arizona, 17 Georgia Tech, 18 Arizona State, 19 California, 20 Miami, Ohio, 21 USF, 22 Arkansas, 23 FAU, 24 Colorado, and 25 Florida State.
I think that's solid.
solid for me.
All right,
Thanks, guys.
so next week is going to be very, very tough. It's normally the most important rankings. So, yeah, I'll see you guys next week.
All right.
All right, thanks for helping.
Peace.
Bye.